Welcome to News and Views. I'm Danae Jones and it's my pleasure to bring you this week's segment. Today we're at the Pier shopping centre, which offers a range of boutique stores, dining outlets and professional services. A variety of spaces are now available for lease, situated on the stunning waterfront with unbeatable views of Trinity Bay, Marlin Marina and out into the Coral Sea. The building is an iconic part of the Cairns waterfront and operates alongside the 5-star Shangri-La Hotel, making it the perfect shopping and dining destination for a wonderful blend of locals and tourists alike. Food and beverage outlets, retail shops of varying shapes and sizes, as well as commercial and serviced offices, the Pier pretty much has it all. Today we're talking to Orange Sky Australia. Orange Sky provides a free mobile laundry service to people experiencing homelessness and financial hardship. But more importantly, Orange Sky creates a safe, positive and supportive environment to connect people who are often ignored or feel disconnected from the community. The Cairns service has proven to be a valuable addition to the local community, having done more than 27,000 kilograms of washing and shared over 1,900 hours of genuine and non-judgemental conversation since it launched in March 2019. This would not be possible without the continued support of the amazing team of local volunteers and the ongoing support of the Cairns community. Welcome to News and Views, ladies.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
So we have Jenny and Lyndal here. Now you guys both volunteer for Orange Sky.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
So how did you come to be the coordinator, Lyndal?
When Orange Sky first came to Cairns and looking at starting out and gathering volunteers, I heard about the concept. I had just retired after 31 years in education and thought now's a great time just to maybe connect back with the community in a different way and pick up that role. So I started off as a general volunteer and quickly ended up doing 2 shifts a week. And then the coordinators from Brisbane were up for about 2 weeks, and then towards the end of that time they said, hey look, would you be happy to be a team leader? So I started off then being team leader for 2 shifts a week, and then from there they were looking at needing a service leader, Cairns service leader, to coordinate all of the teams, and approached me about whether I'd be willing to do that. And so with my background that was actually a really nice fit as far as management and organisation, and so I was happy to hop on board.
And such a huge commitment of your time, so that's wonderful, and you're volunteering as well. So
I am, yes.
How did you come on board with Orange Sky?
Well, I actually have always wanted to volunteer for something, but I've worked full-time and studied part-time for a long time. I finished uni earlier this year, about February, which is about the time Orange Sky came to Cairns. So I saw the position for communications coordinator, which is a lot of the background, like liaising with people and sort of organising speaking engagements.
People like us.
Yeah, yes, people like you, yeah. And I thought that actually just really fits my skill set. I work in admin and management as well. Mm-hmm. So I thought I'd give it a go, applied for it, and they accepted me, and I also go out on shift once a fortnight as a general volunteer, and I just love it. I love getting out there and talking to people. It's great.
Now you guys are not dissimilar to all of the volunteers throughout the country that are volunteering on a daily basis with Orange Sky. Now obviously there's something that's drawn you to this particular social service. What is it that makes this so different to all of the other charities out there? What is it that you're actually doing out there for the viewers that don't know about Orange Sky?
The main thing that we do is we actually connect with people, and we connect with them through conversation. So Orange Sky might be a service that's provided, a practical laundry service where they can actually get their laundry done, but over that period of the shift we sit down and we just have a yarn and a talk with people, not judging them, just being willing to sit, to listen, not to actually push any agendas, but to chat and be a positive person in their day. And for some people it's the only people they might talk to all week.
It is a really nice, it just helps provide that really nice connection to a community. There's a lot of people that are experiencing homelessness or doing it tough, and yeah, they feel ignored by the community, or left out. So it just gives them our volunteers turn up at the same time, same place every week. It's that consistency, and they just know they can turn up for a chat. It helps, to just give them that sense of connection with the community that they're so often lacking.
Also connection with each other. And a real part of Orange Sky is the orange and the branding, and the fact that all of the 29 services around Australia have got 6 bright orange chairs that go in the van. And what we do is we set up the service, get ready so that our friends who use the service can put their washing in, and then we have these chairs sitting around, 6 chairs where people using the service can sit down, and some of them just sit down for the whole 3 hours and chat with us over that whole 3 hours, and they'll get up and they'll change their washing over and they'll put it in the dryer, and then they'll come back and sit down and really have a really good conversation, not fearing any judgment at all, but about any topic they like.
And that's wonderful, isn't it? And you were saying to me before, yes, obviously they need clean washing. That's a fundamental part of what we all need. But it is that conversation, but also giving them that dignity back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it does restore the dignity, and they do, we all feel better when we've got clean clothes on. And it does help to improve their comfort. It helps to improve hygiene standards, and it helps to empower them to sort of look after themselves as well.
Yep.
And Orange Sky is not there to do their laundry for them. It's to provide a service so that they actually can feel empowered. And also, many of the people that access the service are very private people, and cross-culturally, many of them are from Aboriginal and Islander backgrounds. They don't want people touching their washing. It's a very private thing. And so it's a service that they can access, they can use, and then at the same time, we can connect with them and also connect with many kids at the same time. So one of the side benefits that we've really found, particularly in Cairns at one of our sites, is that there are often very many young children that come, and they will stay with us for the 3.5 hours on shift. And so what we've done is we've brought along a whole lot of literacy and numeracy type aids and games, and we might have 5 people rostered as volunteers, and 2 or 3 of those will sit down and they'll read to children, and they'll do puzzles with children and do numeracy activities and get out some chalk and be teaching kids the alphabet, which is just, they're the children or the grandchildren of people accessing the service. But the feedback from the parents and grandparents about that is that, wow, the kids are so much more engaged. They're now starting to go to school, and their teachers at school are noticing that the kids are getting some more skills. And so, it's a benefit that you wouldn't have thought, but it's a very real one, particularly at one of the sites that we are at twice a week.
And you've identified, I think, a very real statistic in that there are a lot of homeless young people or young people that are in families of severe financial hardship. And that's a wonderful service that you're doing that. What I loved hearing from you before when we were chatting off camera was about how you're aligning with all of the other agencies and services out there. Can you explain to our viewers that some of the locations that you go to and the people that you're aligning with that are already providing services locally?
Yes, at the moment we do 3 different sites, and we have a service provider for each of those. One site is the management at Cairns Villas, but we have Wheels of Wellness also go to the site at the same time that the laundry's on, and so friends accessing the service and getting their laundry done can actually access doctors and nurses at the time and have their medical needs addressed, which is fantastic. So it's very much a connected service there. Another site where we do twice a week, we have Maraway, the Indigenous organisation. They provide someone to come down and be with us while we're doing it, and so once a fortnight they'll also put on a barbecue and provide some food both for the volunteers but for all of the friends that are gathering and chatting together, which is fabulous. A third site, Living Light Gospel Chapel in town. The ladies there at the church are fantastic. They put on morning tea and lunch, and so people that are homeless that come and access the service there can actually have a shower, they can have lunch, and at the same time as they're having lunch, they can have all of their worldly possessions get washed at the same time. So it very much value adds to the service, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as powerful if you were doing it as a standalone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There
I
is
love the
that.
fact that you're working together.
Yeah, there is that point Lyndal mentioned about having all their worldly possessions.
Yeah.
They have to trust us. They really have to trust us, because a lot of these people, it is all their worldly possessions. You do need to build that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you and I, Jenny, were chatting off camera before about a grant that the founders of Orange Sky Laundry were awarded from Google.
Yes.
Can you tell our viewers how they got this $1 million grant and what it's being used for? Because I think it's quite inspiring.
Okay, so this $1 million grant from Google is actually for software development. So Orange Sky headquarters, they developed a web app which we use to recruit volunteers. We use it for our volunteer onboarding process. There's also a portal, we can access a lot of resources. There's a tablet that we keep in the van, and that we use to register who's driving the van, who the passenger is, tell them when it gets to site. We put in how many loads of washing we're doing, the first names of the friends that are using us, how many hours of conversation, all that stuff. It measures that.
Gathering all that data.
Gathers the data. It's also got incident reporting, so we can report any incidents on site as and when they happen, and it just really helps to gather the data, keep the whole process running smoothly, and administer the whole organisation across Australia. So what they're doing with this grant is trying to develop this software so that it's a platform that any not-for-profit or charitable organisation can use.
I think that's great.
Yeah. Yes. So because it really does help with the behind the scenes running of Orange Sky, and it's a big part of why they've been able to spread so far and be so successful. It's just because it's so well run.
I think also with the recording of all that stats is that it really does give you a good foundation, a good understanding of how valued the service is and how much the service is getting utilised.
It also helps to measure the social impact. So social impact is something that's become really big, and it's a thing that a lot of philanthropists and organisations are actually looking at now when they're deciding, because there's so many organisations out there that need the funding. So a lot of the time philanthropists will be looking for social impact. How much is your social impact? How much value am I going to add by supporting your cause?
That are being achieved?
Yeah. So it will empower other charities and organisations to be able to measure that in a more meaningful way, which will in turn help with their funding.
I think it's great, and it's also a mechanism to be able to keep your volunteers safe, like we were saying before, because there are real incidents that happen out there. And like you were saying, the tablet actually says, welcome, where are you going to your destination? Please let me know when you arrive safely, and you actually have to log that in. I think it's phenomenal.
Every time.
Yeah, and when we leave, we're leaving base now, we're leaving shift now, we've arrived safely back at base.
Yeah.
Check off the van, is everything okay? It's got a checklist. And
it's great. And in terms of attracting volunteers to help you with what you're doing out there, how's that been?
It's been really exciting in Cairns. It started a little bit slowly because we only started really in March, but it's snowballed from there, which is fantastic. And a lot of that has been to do with us being quite visible, both visible being wearing orange
Bright
and the orange truck in the community, but also participating in quite a few community events. And that gives people an opportunity to check out what we do and have those conversations with us, to see us on a regular basis. And then as part of that web app too, people are actually able to express interest in whether they could possibly volunteer. And Orange Sky has a really good onboarding system for recruiting those volunteers, for training them up, giving them really good training. And then at the end of a 2-hour training session, getting them to actually make the judgment call themselves. Is Orange Sky a good fit for me? And we can do likewise, because we're wanting people to come on board as volunteers with no agendas, not pushing any political or religious agendas, coming on board, being willing to actually sit and listen and be non-judgemental, not push our own barrow, and just have that conversation and be a happy, cheerful person that someone can connect with.
All we really require from our volunteers, none of us are qualified therapists or social workers or anything like that. You just need to be respectful, non-judgemental, open-minded, and just have a little bit of empathy for people's situations.
Absolutely. And so where to from here? What's the plans for Orange Sky here in Far North Queensland?
Orange Sky will just get bigger and better, I think, in Cairns. At the moment we do about 80 loads of washing a week across 5 shifts. We have the ability to actually go out into the community and do more shifts. And as we get more volunteers on board, we're hoping to actually provide more shifts. We could actually do 7 days a week, depending on where the need is. And so the judgment around where we set up shifts is very much around where is there a service provider that is happy for us to link in and work with them. And so at the moment we're negotiating with numbers of different organisations and service providers to see if they would be willing for us to come park our truck with them when they're operating their service and value add to what they're actually doing.
I think it's wonderful the work you're doing, and I'm so glad that Orange Sky is now in Cairns and delivering this service. I congratulate you on being out there and volunteering your time. It's very inspiring, and we hope that as you expand your service you'll come back and share some more of your story with us.
Fabulous,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
There you have it, folks. Lyndal and Jenny from Orange Sky Australia here in Far North Queensland, delivering that laundry service on a daily basis out here in our local community. But not just laundry, as they've said, genuine, non-judgemental conversation. If you'd like to get involved, there'll be a link in the bottom of the story. That's all we have for you this week. We'll see you next week.